Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new series on the channel. This one's going to be called What's Your Favorite Scary Story? Basically, I'm going to go and read small scary stories. I'll read them to you, so it'll be like a nice little reading time kind of thing. But it's just for fun. We're going to see if we can find some good scary stories. If they're short, we'll have multiple an episode, but if it's a long one, it'll only be the one. So yeah, so let's start with the first scary story. This New Old House by Bad Out of Hell 821. We bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master bedroom, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person, the missing date matching the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one text say, "Yep, it's human." Human? What's human? Ma'am, where's the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing. So that one was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little twist at the end, which all scary stories need a good twist, and that one did. So let's move on to the next scary story and see if that one has a nice little twist with it. Seeing Red, the First Day of School by Zenryhao. Everyone loves the first day of school, right? New year, new classes, new friends. It's a day full of potential and hope before all the dreary depressions of reality show up to ruin all the fun. I like the first day of school for a different reason though. You see, I have a sort of power. When I look at people, I can sense a sort of aura around them. A colored outline based on how long that person has to live. Most everyone I meet around my age is surrounded by a solid green hue, which means they have plenty of time left. A fair amount of them have a yellow-orangish tinge to their auras, which tends to mean a car crash or some other tragedy. Anything that takes people before their time, as they say. The real fun is when the auras venture into the red end of the spectrum though. Every now and again I'll see someone who's basically a walking stoplight. Those are the ones who get murdered or kill themselves. It's such a rush to see them and know their time is numbered. With that in mind, I always get to class very early so I could scout out my classmates' fates. The first kid who walked in was basically radiating red. I chuckled to myself. Too damn bad, bro. But as people kept walking in, they all had the same intense glow. I finally caught a glimpse of my rose-tinted reflection in the window, but I was too stunned to move. Our professor stepped in and locked the door, his aura a sickening shade of green. So that's the next scary story. This one was a little bit weird at first reading it. I was like, okay, where's this gonna go? But then when I got to the end, I was like, okay, that was pretty clever, that was pretty good. So I decided to add it. But this one's a little bit confusing, just warning you for this scary story. So this one you'll have to really pay attention. But let's get into this story. My Daughter Learned to Count by RealScience87. My daughter woke me up around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had picked her up from her friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home, and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read, while I fell asleep watching the Braves game. "Daddy?" she whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve. "Guess how old I'm going to be next month?" "I don't know, Beauty," I said as I slipped on my glasses. "How old?" She smiled and held up 4 fingers. "It is 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. She still refuses to tell us where she got them." Hopefully you guys understood what was supposed to be the scary element to that story, if you need it explained. Where did she get those fingers? But let's move on to the last story. The Accident by Minboy. It was 1 a.m. and Guy Halverson sat in his dark living room. He hadn't moved for over an hour. The accident earlier that evening kept playing over and over in his mind. The light turned red, but he was in a hurry and accelerated. An orange blur came from his right, and in a split second there was a violent jolt. Then the bicyclist rolled across his hood and fell out of sight on the pavement. Horns blared angrily, and he panicked, stepping on the gas and screeching away from the chaos into the darkness, shaken and keeping an eye on his rearview mirror until he got home. Why did you run, you idiot? He never committed a crime before this, and punished himself by imagining years in jail, his career gone, his family gone, his future gone. Why not just go to the police right now? You can afford a lawyer. Then someone tapped on the front door, and his world suddenly crumbled away beneath him. They found me. There was nothing he could do but answer it. Running would only make matters worse. His body trembling, he got up, went to the door, and opened it. A police officer stood under the porch light. "Mr. Halverson?" asked the grim officer. He let out a defeated sigh. "Yes, let me. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I have some bad news. Your son's bike was struck by a hit-and-run driver this evening. He died at the scene. I'm very sorry for your loss." So there's all of our scary stories. I think my favorite has to be This New Old House. I think my least favorite would have to be Seeing Red out of all of them. But I hope you enjoyed the scary stories. And this last part of the video was for my friend Alex. He wanted me to review Happy Feet. So Happy Feet, great animation movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So there you go, there's your Happy Feet review. But let's flash forward to the next review.